Okay, yeah, yeah, okay, okay. Start without talking. Start stage. Live trading. All right. Yo. Hello. Yo, guys, quick. Guys, okay. Can you guys hear me? Good. Is a mic check. All good. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All good? Yes. Perfect. Okay, guys. Join the stream. Quick. We got no time to waste. All right, guys. Okay. So you guys see everything on my chart, right? Just so you guys are ready and prepared. I'm gonna say cash today. I'm gonna be doing commentary today. I'm super great on the week. I'm happy with the week. I guess for myself, but I'm gonna be doing commentary. I know that the indicator is finding longs. I am looking at longs too. Let me explain. Looking at the 5-minute time frame, right, or the 15-minute, 5-minute, same thing, right? If you guys zoom out, you guys see that coming to market open, we just took out the high at 25,235.75. This high up here. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's in London. I think it is. I think it's not. Maybe it's in Asia. Let me just double check. Come on, indicator. We don't have time for this. Come on. Load up. Come on, 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, we have we just took out the Asia high, right? We are pumping up above. Okay, I don't have time to explain this, guys. Longs above the fair rally gap. We have a lot of buying pressure. We are holding above the level of liquidity. We are pretty bullish. So yeah, just be ready for it. Wait for an impulse above this 5-minute. In the meantime, let me see if I even have time to explain it. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing commentary today, so guys, just pay attention. But yeah, we're pretty much looking at longs above this 5-minute here. If we get a nice impulse above, so obviously just wait for that. All right, guys, wait for a nice impulse here. I know we broke above it, but we didn't hold above it for some time. So give it a little bit of time to do its retracements and everything. But yeah, now in the meantime, I feel like I have enough time to explain it as you guys wait for the entry. So give it a second. So coming to market open, we are getting a bunch of buying pressure on the first 5-minute candle. All right, if you look at the 15-minute time frame, we have a level of liquidity all the way up here at 25,235, and then we have some internals at 173, 118, and all that good stuff, and maybe some down here. Now, if you really go back here, you guys will see that the last fair value gap that we've inversed throughout this entire sell-off here was this one right here, right? So on the 5-minute time frame, instead of inversing the 15-minute, we do have one on the 5-minute, right over here, as you guys can see, right here. Right? So we're looking to inverse this fair value gap with enough buying pressure, with enough of an impulse above it to go ahead and enter into this and then look to target 310 to the upside. Obviously, the market just opened, so give it a little bit of a second, but we have an idea of what to expect. All right, guys. So once again, we're looking for an inverse above this with enough buying pressure. Look to target 310 and possibly even higher. All right, off this 5-minute time frame. All right, guys. But obviously, like I said, give it some time. Let the market impulse. Let the market open up and everything. And then we would look to do it. Don't worry. As I always do in the commentary, I'll let you guys know when to enter. Wait for the impulse. Wait for everything. And I'll let you guys know. All right, guys. But yeah, now, let me see ES on the other hand. ES, it also took out the Asia high all the way up here at 810. We do have a really big rally up to the upside. So hopefully that doesn't really stop us too much. But like I said, I'll let you guys know. All right, guys. I am keeping track here. I would say look for a good entry, maybe above like this candle high up here on the 5-minute time frame. So yeah, just keep that in mind. All right, guys. Let me see. I know I'm rushing everything, guys. Real quick, give me let me just prepare everything. Hopefully the price doesn't move too quick. Because this setup does look pretty good. Like I said, for everyone tuning in, I am gonna be doing commentary today. I am green on the week. I'm happy with the week. So just for myself, I'm gonna be doing commentary. So if you guys are green on the week, you don't need to trade this. All right, guys. But yeah, I'm going to put out that on knife really quick here on the server. 1 segundo. 1 sec, guys. 1 sec. Let me see. Let me put it out here. Yeah, so now that we broke above this inverse here, we need to get this entry now. Because if you don't get it in this or the next candle, the setup won't really work because we're already inverse the fair value gap and it's not getting respected. So we need to hold above it right now. So hopefully we can get some buying pressure here. For the people that might have entered a little bit early, because I know maybe at least 1 or 2 people in here might have entered early. Give the trade some time if you're in. I do believe in higher as long as we do hold above this level of liquidity at 235. I know we're getting a pullback. Don't really worry about it. We're still getting a lot of buying pressure. So if you're in, stay in. All right, because I know some people might have entered early. All right, now, if you're not in yet, good, right? Because we need to wait for a nice impulse and hold above the gap here. Here, we broke it for like 2 seconds. We went back down. So it wasn't even enough time to really decide if buyers wanted higher or not. All right, guys. So yeah, if you're not in yet, obviously just wait it out. Like I said, we're waiting on the impulse. ES wants higher here. We can see that ES looks way stronger to the upside than NQ does. As you can see, we are breaking past highs and everything while NQ is kind of just sitting there. So we need NQ to kind of pick up a little bit of the volume here. Once you notice that NQ starts picking up the volume, we can actually look to start taking longs off this 5-minute inverse all the way up into 310, which will be about a, I don't know, 45-point price target. Not bad. So a little bit more than a 1-to-1 ratio word there. So yeah, once again, the price target will be at 310. Just give it some time, wait for the impulse, and then we go from there. All right, like I said, we have really good confirmations. Not only are we pretty bullish on NQ, NQ is not the strongest one, which is the only downside. But if ES can hold up here and give NQ that buying pressure, NQ has room for higher. Now, ES on the other hand, I'm pretty sure has room for higher. I just don't know where, because we do have this 15-minute inverse here, which could kind of stop us a little bit. Hopefully not, but we'll see. But I'm really hoping everything does line up bullish, because it is right now. I'm just hoping it holds bullish, because we need to inverse this for value gap kind of right now. Because remember, we already inverse this gap here, so the longer that we wait for this inverse to kind of hold, like okay, if we already inverse the fair value gap and we don't hold above it, what can end up happening is the fair value gap just won't be valid anymore. Because remember, it got filled, but it never got inversed. All right, so we won't be able to use this. So hopefully in this or the next candle, we end up seeing some green or some buying pressure. If not, then we just can't use the setup. All right, guys. If not, then obviously we got to work with something else. All right, so right now, obviously, we were bullish a second ago. Now we're a little bit bearish because obviously we are getting some selling pressure. We are holding below 235. So if anything, worst case, we do have to switch to the bias. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. But yeah, hold on, guys. I'm gonna go fill up on some water real quick. Let me just set up everything. I kind of just like get into the stream in a rush. So give me 1 sec, guys. Give me 1 sec. All right, I'm back. All right, let me get all my thoughts together here. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yeah, this 5-minute, although it looked good a second ago, we did break above it. We didn't really hold above it for too long, which kind of didn't really trigger a good entry. I don't really think we can use this 5-minute anymore. It did look good. We did have room for higher and everything, but since we already filled this fair value gap, if we go back into it, a re-entry off of it or an entry off of it, whether you enter or not, it doesn't really look good. Now, I really hope you guys didn't really rush the entry here. I do know that we broke above it, but once again, you guys know the way I live trade. I always tell you guys, give it a few seconds, see if price is able to trade above it for some time with some more buying pressure and everything, and then enter. Here, we didn't really get it so much. All right, so hopefully you guys held off of it. But I'm gonna see if I can get a good bias here. I still want to say we're pretty bullish. ES is looking really bullish. ES does want higher. The only problem is how can we find an entry into longs? We can technically still use this one up here because we still have one more candle to trade off of it. But the longer that it takes that we don't get the inverse up here, it just won't work. I just don't think we have anything else to trade into 310 if the bias is going to be bullish, just because ES is obviously still holding a little bit bullish here. Now, the second that ES starts holding below 6810.75, we can start looking to be bearish. All right, guys, just because we're going to get the deal sweep from the Asia on both ES and NQ. Well, NQ kind of already has it. All right, the thing is, I don't really think NQ has anything to the downside either. So let me see. Yeah, no, 28 points. Yeah, we have nothing here. So we would have to form a brand new fair value gap if we want to go ahead and shoot down here. Because there's really nothing to inverse. If I turn on the indicator, let me see. Let me see. Yeah, the indicator's not even finding any fair value gaps either. The one that's finding is all the way down here, which obviously I'm not trying to wait. We're currently trading at 225. For one entry into short, we would need to wait for a 250 point sell off for just the entry. So let's not rush that. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'm seeing, I do have the chat open. I'm seeing some of you guys are saying that the indicator is reading bullish. I mean, bearish. We are bearish. Remember, the reason I'm saying we're bearish right now is because obviously we took out the Asia. We're holding below the Asia. We have quite a bit of selling. Now, I'm not super bearish yet until ES is able to hold below 810. Right now, we kind of have a little bit of an SMT divergence, which is not the best sign, right? The reason I say it's not the best sign is because typically when we're trading in the market, we would want both ES and NQ to be following each other, right? So if they're going against each other, if you're looking to take shorts on one and the other one is going up, there's a 50-50 chance that the other one could be a little bit stronger and stop you out for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So while ES is pumping up and ripping past new highs, NQ is kind of just sitting there doing nothing, right? So it's a little bit hard to get a trade going here. So we need the SMT to kind of line up here on both ES and NQ first before we really decide on what the bias wants to be. All right. But yeah, if you guys are using the indicator right now, yes, NQ will read bearish because obviously we are currently holding below the Asia low drawn liquidity. So as long as we hold below 235, we're bearish, right? But do you guys see what I mean here, right? It's not the best looking open. Because as you guys see, NQ is selling off like crazy. It wants lower while ES kind of just sits there at the highs. All right. Look, ES on the 15-minute time frame. Let's see what we got here. We do have a gap. Wait, do we have a gap on NQ on the 15-minute? Nah, it's just kind of just a huge wick. Yeah, this open is a little bit tricky. I'm not gonna lie to you guys because once again, ES wants higher while NQ wants lower, so we can't be trading like that. All right. All right, ES trade today. I mean, if you guys are up for it, I'm doing commentary today, so I'm not really trading it for myself, but I could try to give you guys something on ES if you guys want that. All right, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, ES kind of looks a little bit better. It looks like it has more of a lead. But yeah, it's showing a setup on the 50-minute on ES. Oh yeah, on ES. Okay. Let me check it out. Yeah, I'm assuming it should be an inverse off this one, right? Unless we have another one above, which I don't think we do. Yeah, it should be longs off this here, right? Let it load. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, longs off this right here. So if never mind. Hold on. I was about to say, so if ES is able to pump up here, but ES has to pump up 12 points, which doesn't sound like a lot at all. But on ES, it kind of is a lot for an entry. So pumping up 12 points is kind of a mission. If we can get that with a lot of buying pressure, by all means, ES longs would not look bad. Plus, if you want to have a bullish bias today, since ES is way stronger than NQ to the upside, ES would definitely work so much better. All right, but obviously the entry towards longs is quite far away. We're talking almost 15 points, which doesn't, like I said, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it kind of is. All right, at least on ES. Now on NQ, like I said, there's really not much here, so we got to give the market a little bit of time to really decide what it wants to do here. But we'll give it some time. All right, guys. Crazy divergence, the craziest ones that we've seen in the last 1 or 2 weeks. So definitely not the best open. But yeah. Could NQ weigh ES down? Yes. Yes, it definitely can. In the same way how ES wants to go higher, it can also weigh NQ to not go lower. Right? That's why I'm telling you guys, when you notice that there's an SMT in the market, do not trade. Because no matter how good the setup looks in that direction, if the other one, which could be ES or NQ, is going against you, no matter how good your setup looks, there's a 50-50 chance where the setup can go against you at any given time whenever it wants. So I'm always telling you guys, if you're going to take a trade, make sure that both ES and NQ are following that same exact bias. Always. All right. David, is it even possible to get a setup today, or is it just gonna chop because of Thanksgiving tomorrow? No, it's possible. I mean, look at that. We're literally pumping up right now quite a bit here. So we could definitely look to take ES longs very soon if you guys want to base it off the indicator as well. I'm also telling you guys that the 15-minute also looks pretty good. I don't know if we have anything to upside on the 5-minute. We probably could. Yeah, it's just gonna be a little bit of a higher entry, so the 15-minute will be your best bet. I would say for today, if you guys want to be a little bit more safe, maybe avoid trading NQ for the bullish bias. I get it. We're pumping up. We're about to get the inverse. We're bullish. We're all that good stuff. If you guys, I mean, would you guys want to take NQ? I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's not the best looking setup. It's not the cleanest volume, but it could work. ES looks better. Okay, I'm gonna do a poll. Which one do you guys want me to commentate on? Hold on. Which one do you want me to commentate on? Okay, wait. Thank you. Okay, guys, I'm gonna do a quick poll in the chat here. Let me know what you guys want me to go ahead and commentate on. I'll go based off whatever. Like I said, today I'm doing commentary, so I don't really care what I personally trade, because I'm already done for the week for myself. All right, guys. But yeah, let me know. ES is slow, but remember, ES is slow, but it looks way better. All right, guys. This dude made 100K. Okay, bro. Come on, bro. This dude made 100. Nice, bro. Very, very nice, bro. Bro, make sure you request that payout, bro. All right, let's see what we got here. 102 votes. What do we want? Oh, oh, bro. It's a 50-50. Okay, I mean, okay. Um, since both are bullish, we can look to take NQ. The only problem with NQ is that the gap really technically doesn't really exist anymore. You could still take longs off the inverse of the gap. It's just not going to be your best entry. But you don't have any other entry if you don't inverse that gap. I don't know. It's a little risky, but it's a 50-50. So it's kind of hard to. A lot more people are saying NQ. We have 63 people saying NQ. We have 61 saying ES. So I guess we'll just focus on NQ if you guys really want to risk it. If you guys don't want to risk it, I'll leave my ES chart up. I'll just switch around it as well. But yeah, your entry on NQ would look somewhat like this if we get a nice impulse above. And don't worry, guys, I'll let you know when to enter. Just because we break above doesn't mean you should enter. All right, just give me some time. Let me tell you guys if it looks good or not. And then if you like the confidence, you guys can always take the trade. All right, now let me focus a little bit more on ES here. Now, it kind of seems like the S&P is kind of lining up a little bit here. NQ is finally lining up a little bit more bullish because it was pretty bearish a second ago. We are getting a little bit more buying pressure, a little bit more than ES, which is a really good sign. It just shows that we're getting a little bit of an S&P flip here, showing that buyers are now gaining a little bit more control on NQ than ES. So if we do get a buying candle, it should be a little bit stronger on NQ over ES. Right now, NQ will have a sooner entry. But if you guys don't like this NQ setup, you don't need to take it. You could always wait for the ES one. It's a little bit far away. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a little bit far away, but we can probably get it if the bias will remain bullish. All right, but for today, I'm gonna say maybe focus a little bit more on NQ. All right. Now, apparently the indicator found something on the 15-minute. Did it actually? Off what? Let me see. Hold on. Or is it still reading the same setup? Oh, no, 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 no. No, I saw a setup coming into market open. It's the same 15-minute gap here. Instead of using this 15-minute, the reason I'm telling you guys not to enter off this 15-minute is because we have a 5-minute literally right above it. So wait for the 5 minutes to get an inverse and then look to take longs on NQ. All right, guys. I was about to say, okay, whatever. But yeah, I would say just wait for the 5-minute. It looks way better. It looks way better. That was Binfield. No, actually, it was not. Let me show you. Before we filled it, we had a little bit more of a space here in the gap, right here. So it's counting this as a gap right here. But either way, even if you like it or not, you really, you could take it. There's just more risk because there's a huge 5-minute gap right above it. So I would much rather just inverse the 5-minute as well as the 15-minute, and then you go based off that. Obviously, you're gonna get a little bit of a later entry, but just a little bit more confirmed. All right, now I don't really know how the volume is moving today. It looks not super controlling. But I definitely think we can definitely get something going. How many points are we averaging per candle? Ooh, okay. I thought it was gonna be a lot more. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, let me kind of just put this out here. One sec, guys. In the setup to watch channel. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I know we're getting a little bit of buying pressure. Give it a second. Remember, we need to hold above it with good buying pressure. So I would say a good entry would probably be a nice break and hold above this high up here. All right, guys. A nice break and hold above there. Let me make sure that the indicator is reading the same entry. I don't know if it is. Yeah, no, it's going to wait for this one because the gap doesn't really exist anymore. But you can still use it. Like I said, it's going to be a riskier one. I put it in the poll. This trade is going to be risky. So if you guys are going to take NQ over ES, please just size light. Now, ES is pumping up a little bit more. So if you guys also want to wait on ES, you also could. All right. But for me, I'm going to focus on NQ just because a lot more people voted on it. All right. But yeah, like I said, if you guys don't like NQ, you feel like it's too risky, too volatile, whatever, you could wait for ES. It looks a little bit stronger, a little bit slower, but a little bit stronger to the upside. All right, guys. Okay. We're getting a little bit more buying pressure here. We are holding above it, so you guys can start looking for longs around this range here. All right, guys. You guys can start looking for longs around this range. We are getting a little bit more buying pressure. We do have room for higher. ES wants room for higher and all that good stuff. All right, guys. But yeah, let me go and put this out real quick. One sec, guys. Now, like I said, please size light on this trade if you haven't entered already. If you're gonna enter, remember I'm gonna be doing commentary today. But just keep in mind that the market is a little bit choppy today, a little bit like we know where it wants to go. It's just not the strongest direction. All right, guys. So just be careful with that. Be careful with that. All right, guys. Yeah. At first, we did have some buying pressure, so hopefully we can hold it up for some time. If not, then obviously this trade just won't really work just because the market volume is just not the best. But yeah, here let me kind of check here. Okay, all right, 1 second. So let me kind of get everything ready, set up and ready here. Oh yeah, you would use the same stop loss. I would say at 232 if you did end up entering, and then just hold it with that. All right, guys, 232 would be your stop loss. Now that's if you're taking NQ. If you're taking ES, then obviously you haven't gotten an entry yet because we have not inversed the 15-minute gap right up here. All right, guys, and okay, yeah, no, this market is a little bit too choppy today. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The first entry never ended up getting respected, and this one, if you ended up entering off this one, never ended up getting respected. So yeah, not the best entry. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yeah, trading before Thanksgiving is probably not the best idea. Looking at the volume, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yeah, no, it's a little bit too choppy. Looking at this, let me open up the chat. Cash day for sure. Yeah, if you guys entered, yeah, it just looks like the market is just not really respecting much here. Especially on both mainly NQ but also ES. See, stopped. Yeah. If you entered off this one, yeah, you would have gotten stopped on this one. Unfortunately, it's just it doesn't look too stable. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's open. We have an idea of what to expect, which is mainly 310. It's a little bit hard to trade into it just because we're getting these fake outs pretty constantly. So yeah. NQs, that's crazy. Yeah, bro. Yeah, a little bit choppy on this one. Stopped. Yeah. So for the people, let me see. Last was the 40 point for value gap after the 5-minute inverse above. Yeah, no, but we're targeting 310. So with enough buying pressure, you could look to take it. We're mainly taking it off the 5 and 15-minute inverse there. But either way, it's just not getting respected either way. The price is just too choppy right now. Bro, you guys are something like TGR. Look at the 1 minute. Ugh. Yeah, no, price just looks way too choppy today, guys. To get any trade in general. Let me see. Hold on. If it goes back, watch it go back up too. If it does, bro, don't even bother taking it, bro. It just looks too choppy. Way too choppy. Because, bro, how is it that we try getting a DOL sweep here, it doesn't hold, and then we try getting the DOL sweep again? Is ES still okay? ES, yeah, actually still is. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't really think trading today is the best choice. Looking at the way that how price is moving into market open, which is typically the strongest way, it's not the best. David, I made an NQ strategy that enemy 21K in the last 90. Let's connect. Yeah, I mean, send it over. I'm not one to really change my strategy. I don't if it's not broken, then why fix it? But yeah, bro. If anything, yeah, message me. But yeah, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Today is probably gonna be a short stream. I don't really want to hold you guys in here for too long if the market's gonna be moving this bad. And even if you might be saying, okay, well, if upside hasn't been working 2 times and we've gotten 2 DOL sweeps, why can't we just trade downside? Well, 2 things. Price in general is just not stable. It doesn't look stable coming into market open. We're stuck in the same range where we kind of opened up at. And we're almost 30 minutes to market open. We're not really averaging that many points per candle. You guys know typically we've been averaging about 70 points per candle every single day for like the last 2-3 weeks. Today, which is the day before a holiday, we're averaging 30-40 points per candle, which is still decent, right? It's still tradable, but obviously it could be way better. Look at the 5-minute on ES. Yeah. Okay. Check it out. Right, you have a bearish value gap here, over 10 points of a selling candle. Right, you are about to get a DOL sweep. The only thing is, if we're going to be bearish in the market, you can't really look to take shorts off of this because when we're okay, look, right, hear me out here, guys. Let me see your bless. I'm staying cash. Yeah, no worries, bro. No worries. Yeah. So hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Okay. Look, with ES, if you want to look to take shorts, right now ES is bearish, right, alongside NQ. ES is super, super bearish, right? Since we have a 5-minute bearish rally gap right here, yes, you can potentially look to trade something like this into here. But the thing is, once price goes above the level of liquidity, your bias is bullish. So how are you going to be trading a bullish bias with a bearish rally gap? You don't want to be looking to take longs off of this, because typically technically we don't really have any price targets above. It's kind of hard to trade longs here. So yeah, you could do something like this, but the only problem is we need this gap to be below the level of liquidity to get a bearish continuation model. So although yeah, ES does look good in terms of setups and everything, I don't really think this setup is suitable for a good short. It could work out. It's gonna be tricky because your bias right now would be bullish, right? Hold on. Your bias here would be bullish. As long as it holds above 810, but you have a bearish rally gap. So here it would just be confusing to get a trade all in on. All right, so hopefully that makes sense to you, bro. But yeah, guys, this market is not very it's just not stable, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna stay on for a little bit longer to see if maybe something cleaner comes along, but I don't know. We not only is price not stable at all, but we don't even have any more setups to trade anywhere in this range. But yeah, entry will be below the. Oh, you're right. Yeah. You're right, bro. I didn't think, bro. Thank you. Well, I can't read your name. It's like it starts with the 1. You're right. Yeah. Okay. So actually, whoever mentioned ES, with the setup on ES, actually is not bad, because you're right. I didn't think about it. You're actually super, super right. Okay. So yeah, pretty much what someone said in the chat, guys, is yeah. So if we retrace into the fair value gap here on ES, if you're looking to take shorts, you can't take shorts anywhere above 810. But wait, hold on, guys. My account is mad. One second, guys. All right, I'm back. All right, yeah. So what you could do is you can look for a retracement into the gap, follow with a 5-point rejection if it's enough. Let me see. Let me double check. Let's say we reject off the midpoint. Yeah, it would actually give you an exact entry into a bearish bias. So you could look for something like this, right? So entry around here into lower like this, into your lower liquidity just like that. Now, obviously, there's no entry yet. We need to retrace, but that's if we even can afford to retrace up here. We are selling off quite a bit, so I don't even think we're going to be using this fair value gap. Now, on NQ, we are selling off. Wait, I could probably give you guys one more setup. Okay, let me ask you guys. Would you guys want, if the market starts moving a little bit better than what we had up here, would you guys want one setup or call it cash since the market is not as stable right now? I'm staying cash today. I'm going to chill in the stream. Yeah, you're good, but you're good. Yes. Okay. So you guys want to set up. Okay. I'm gonna try. Obviously, like I said, the market is not stable right now, guys. So the trades are gonna be riskier. All right, guys. Was that a news candle? No, actually. It's news comes out. We have no news actually. We don't have news at 10 today. We are probably gonna get like a little of a macro movement in about 2 seconds. So wait. Okay, there's a macro movement, a little bit more aggressive. Okay, whoa. We're selling off into the levels of liquidity. Wait, we need the setup here, guys. Wait. If anything, we might have to trade it on ES. Would you guys be down to trade ES? Chill 100 points? Bro. That's literally what we needed to the upside, bro. Yes? Okay. Because I'm saying, okay. Because NQ is selling off a little bit strong to the downside from ES. So knowing our luck, we're probably going to hit the levels of liquidity known as our price targets before we hit this fair value gap retracement on NQ. Hopefully we don't, but we probably will. But yeah, let's see what we can get here. So we have a huge gap here on ES. We do have room for lower. We are bearish. We have room for lower into 787, which is down here. Right? Let me mark out my remaining levels of liquidity, guys. Give me 1 sec here. Okay. Let me. Oh, wait. No way we got our green. Okay, I don't know if the market is still unstable or if something came out. 1 sec, guys. 1 sec. Let me kind of lock in here. Let me get my thought process going. Okay. So you would have your levels of liquidity like this, right? So you have this one. Now on the 5 minute, I'm assuming you have another pullback here, right? Yep.